Wonderful. Hi, and welcome to Wellness Wednesday. It is always a pleasure to come here to talk about all things health and wellness and creating those really wonderful rhythms in your life that support your mind, body, and your spirit. And today I am so excited to have the ultra fabulous Dr. Denise on with me. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so excited to be here, Kristen. So excited. Thank you for inviting me to talk to your people.
The people. Well, people need what you have right now. We all need health and wellness all the time. And today you're going to share some of your key points, your 5 keys to wellness and wisdom. But before we dive into that, can you just share a little bit about your background with the folks?
Sure. So I am Dr. Denise Beaugelin, and I call that my rapper name.
Everybody needs a rapper name, right? I need a rapper name. I need you to help me out with a rapper name.
We'll work on it afterwards, or maybe during. We'll see.
Yeah.
Special K, I don't know. Or maybe that one's taken. But so Dr. Denise Beaugelin is my rapper name, as I call it, but really Dr. Denise Hunter. I'm a medical doctor, and I've been a medical doctor over 20 years now. That's crazy. I actually specialize in internal medicine, and over the years I've just become really interested in youth. I won't even say over the years. I've been a youth leader for a long time. And when I stopped working one-on-one in the church as a youth leader, I wanted to interact with youth still. So I started doing youth motivational speaking. And then subsequently, I added more of a wellness component to presentations, especially when you notice that there was just an increase in adult illnesses in our teenagers. They're getting diabetes. Like when I was in medical school, kids didn't get that. High blood pressure, even heart attacks, and the anxiety, and and kids, young people. I mean, I won't say it's not medically high, but it was something that was totally unheard of before. And now you're having kids that are having chest pain and being worked up for heart disease. Anxiety and depression, of course, have just skyrocketed, almost double in its percentage in our youth. So I just have a heart for that age and really developed this FOUNT, this wellness program specifically for them, which of course can be extrapolated to adults. I mean, wellness is universal, but it's just my preferred audience.
Right. So whatever we talk about today can be applicable to anybody, but if you've got teens, kids, youth in your home, in your life, it's really important for you to tune into this today.
Yeah. So that's my background. And I actually have a certification in acupuncture too, and something called hydrotherapy. I actually went into the mountains of Colorado and got training in hydrotherapy. So 2 little niche things. I don't get to use them much, but the knowledge is there, and I don't know, a little.
It's all related, right? It's all related. It's all about having, what I always talk about is having lots of tools in your toolbox.
Exactly.
So those are other tools that you can add to the key things that we're going to talk about today. So you talk about something called FOUNT, F-O-U-N-T. Can you tell us a little bit about what that means?
So FOUNT is the 5 keys to wellness and wisdom to help you unlock your best. I've said that a million times before. That's why it just rolls off the tongue.
Help you unlock your best.
Yeah. And each of the letters, they actually stand for a specific principle in wellness, things that I've noticed in my own self, things that I apply to my life to be well, and I've seen applied to my patient's life. So the FOUNT, each of the letters stand for something specific, as well as each of them have 3 categories, 3 parts to them. So that's what FOUNT is. Just a good way to organize wellness material, because there's a lot of information out there.
Right, and we could probably spend a session on each of the letters.
We sure could.
And even on
the letters.
Everything.
Exactly what we, even on the parts, we could spend a whole day. But volumes were written on some of the these principles, which we'll get into, of course.
Absolutely. And when you and I talked a few weeks ago, you know, we could have talked for hours on this topic. I think we were on a roll. So start us out with the F and tell us what is the idea behind F.
Okay, so the F in FOUNT is for fuel. This is really looking at the foods that you feed your body, and not just the food itself, but when you eat, because timing is important too, and how much you eat. So those are the three parts: what you eat, how much, and when. And
Go on.
if we want to go into a little bit more specific of it, we'll go into the what you eat, because, you know, I call that the 93 octane of foods. That's those foods that I'll offer you vitamins and minerals. Like, you know, example I like to give, you pick your favorite fast food restaurant and you go there and you buy, let's say you get a hamburger and some French fries. In that hamburger and French fries, you're going to have your fat, you're going to have your protein, and you're going to have your carbohydrates. Those three things are called your macronutrients. So the large, big, major things that you need to sustain your body and nutrient. But then what it's missing is the micronutrients, the vitamins and minerals that can only be found in those 93 octane fuels, which is vegetables, fruit, legume, nuts, and whole grains. So that's what you can eat. And you know, just sticking the what is the agency that recommends us the dietary recommendations?
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one says we need at least 5 servings a day. And you know, if you could just get 5 servings of fruit and vegetables in your life a day, it's amazing. Because even as an internal medicine physician, I ask all my patients what they eat. And you'll be surprised. Some people may eat a vegetable once a week.
Wow. Well, I do know people that would say that French fries are a vegetable.
Well, you know, sure.
I don't have to agree, but I know people that will say that. So that is excellent. The fuel, the macro and the micro. And one of the things that I just want to mention too, that you and I have talked about in the past, is that, you know, there is room for balance. Like, it doesn't have to be 100% that you're, you know, only eating vegetables.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, honestly, you know, there's a lot of research that really backs up a purely plant-based diet. But even I myself, I'm not fully plant-based. I eat meat sometimes, but I do make sure that every day, myself and my family, we're having at least 5 servings of fruits and vegetables. Our plates are mostly fruits, vegetables, and whole grain. I mean, that's where we are. But it doesn't mean that you have to give up everything. No, this is.
Yeah, because I think that's what kind of sometimes scares people about really healthy eating and choosing the right fuel, because it seems a little bit overwhelming to start. So I always talk about adding in. Like, think about what you're adding in before you worry about what you're taking out.
Exactly. And a good rule of thumb for people is maybe even to shoot for, okay, maybe 2 fruit in the morning, 2 servings. And a serving doesn't mean a whole fruit. You have to look up the serving size per how things look, but we can't go into that in detail here. But 2 fruit in the morning, a vegetable and a fruit at lunch with your lunch, and 2 vegetables with your dinner. And all of a sudden, bam, you're overachiever, because the recommendation is 5 and you've gotten 6.
I love that. I like to be an overachiever, of course.
That's right.
All right, so F is for fuel. What about O? Tell us about O.
O is talking about the mental aspect of wellness. And this one, we talk about the 3 parts underneath it is recognizing reality, making a positive move, and connecting with love. And the importance of, and just with recognizing reality, we'll start with that one. Oftentimes, just a lot of the things that stress us out and wear us down are things that we've created in our minds.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let that one sit for a second.
That's me.
We all done it. That's why I'm going to let it sit for a second and land where it needs to land, so we all it can resonate with us. I mean, it's the beauty of being human. We have an imagination, but our imagination gets carried away with us sometimes. We let's see. I'm going to see if I could get an example of my own self right now. I should think of something. You get an email that, oh, can we meet next week? All of a sudden, oh, I'm getting fired. Oh, something just happened. Oh, we just start, and our brain never goes to the positive.
I'm getting promoted.
Yeah, and you never think, oh, I'm getting promoted or something. Yeah, I wasn't one of your guests before that talked about, yes, I remember.
Negativity bias.
The negativity bias.
Our Heffernan talked about negativity bias, and it's so true. You could get, 100 compliments, and it's the one negative comment that you ruminate on.
Exactly. So it's the same thing when we it's almost a practice to learn to recognize reality, to not let your imagination get carried away with you. And the skill in that is what I call is the art of nowing, not knowing, being present, being right here, understanding what is going on right now. So you've gotten this call that you need to have a meeting next week. What do you know right now? The only thing you know is you've got a meeting next week. That's right. It. Or you even may know that, okay, anytime I interact with this person, they've always been kind. They're not the kind of person to sneak up on you with stuff like this. So you have to really go back to what do you know right now and really check your imagination, because what happens when you go too much into the future, trying to read too much of the future, that's what causes people to have a lot of anxiety and all the hormones that come along with that. And when you go back too much in the past with, everything's, I can't believe that, I can't believe this happened. Those are the things that have people go into depression. So another little catchphrase that I have is, you can look to the past, learn, but don't live there. You can look to the future to plan, but don't plant yourself there.
Yeah.
The art of nowing, being present right here. And then making a positive move is, we can spend hours on that one too. And then connecting with love. That's where we really look at some of the greater spirituality of being well, of being human.
Yeah. Well, love is really the basis of it all. And loving yourself first is really where to start with that.
Exactly.
Principles. All right, so let's talk about you. Now,
you.
The letter U.
So U is for understanding. And understanding what, you may ask? Well, understanding understanding your own body, just basic physiology. A lot of times people don't even really understand how work, and this is an opportunity for me to offload some of those random biological facts that you learned in medical school and undergrad. I always talk about ATP and those things. I know people hear those things and start getting jittery.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Like, I didn't know I signed up for a science class, but hey, So understanding how your body works and basic physiology, understanding how your interactions with other people affect your health. We are social beings.
Yeah.
It is not more clear than what we're going through right now. All the things that we've noticed during this pandemic, being separated from each other. So we are meant to be, and when we're separated in those ways, it does lead to disease. It really does. It's amazing how interconnected we are. And so understanding how our connections work with each other, and then understanding how, as a society, how we're connected. When you think of how laws can affect our health and different issues, how it can affect our health, and we could reflect it back to what we're experiencing in Corona now too.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I'm a huge believer and speak often about the whole concept of biology, the biology of belief, like Bruce Lipton, just the idea of our thoughts creating our health and what's going on inside of our body. They're not separate entities. They really all work in conjunction. Yeah, all together. All right. So FOU. So we've got fuel. What was the O? I know you were talking about what it was about. The three.
Optimistic. Did I not say it? Oh, wow. See?
Optimistic. Okay. So
Optimistic. I just run in my mouth.
Okay. So we've got fuel, optimistic, understanding. And then what about N? What's going on with the N?
So N is for natural. Okay. And this is where we talk about the toxins, things to avoid. Of course, the usual, smoking, drugs, alcohol, and things that, well, you know, alcohol, what we found, the recommendation is, as a woman, you should have no more than 7 drinks a week per day maximum. And as if you're a man, you should have no more than 14 drinks a week, 2 drinks a day maximum. So that's where we found that is a nice healthy level if you drink at all. And then so that's toxins to avoid. And then, you know, we can look into clean living, how, you know, things that we have in our environments, the parabens, the plastics, those kind of things. I talk about that too. And then the natural remedies, which is right up your alley, the oils, essential oils, and all those things. But honestly, one of the most obvious, I'm sorry, why my phone decided to ring? How do I stop it? Okay. One of the most important things, I like to just start off with the basics too, as when it comes to natural remedies, just fresh air and sunshine. Those things are amazing. Our bodies is equipped to utilize the light from the sun in so many ways to improve our health. Why not use it? Why not get out there and experience it? And fresh air, of course, just the oxygen. I mean, that's basically what our body needs to function. Without oxygen, we can live like what? Less than a minute for the majority of us?
Right. I think people really undervalue those two things, fresh air and sunshine. And they are, you know, for the most part, available to us all the time. Okay, so the sun isn't out every day, but there is such great value in those two things. And I think that we minimize that, you know, like when people get outside, you're like, yeah, I don't have time for that, you know?
Absolutely minimize. And I mean, just something as simple as that. And I think we could, I mean, I don't want to put a percentage on it, but for real, it could work wonders, because a lot of people end up cooped up inside. I mean, right now, I mean, there was a time where we really noticed that people are beginning to be vitamin deficient. And as a physician, we were doing vitamin D testing on everybody. Right. And then after a while, we just made the assumption that everybody is vitamin deficient, D deficient, and recommend everybody take a supplement, because the majority of us spend our time inside.
Yeah, and especially depending on what part of the country. I know you're in the South, so you may get a little more sunshine than we may get here in the winter, because we have some colder temps. But I've heard that a lot as well. Like, you know, especially Northeast, everybody's vitamin D deficient. Give them supplements. Whereas get out the beautiful sunshine out my window.
I know, and the truth is, don't underestimate the value of a cloudy day too, because even though it's cloudy, those rays are still present. Right. Your body can still tap into them. The first time I ever got sunburn was on a cloudy day at the beach.
Okay.
An overcast day.
Yeah.
I'd never burnt before, and hopefully it's not insulting anybody. Up until then, I didn't think Black people burned.
I didn't either. So thank you for learning something new there.
I just knew I was immune. Listen, The next day, my whole shoulder, my face, I was peeling, like
Oh,
literally for days afterwards.
oh my
And it
gosh.
was a totally overcast day. The sun was not bright in the sky. So it's there. Those rays are penetrating.
All right, so we can still soak it up on a cloudy day. And I
Yeah,
think the other thing that you referenced about this category, natural, is that people also discount how pervasive those chemicals can be that we are using to clean our homes or that we're putting on our skin. I know
hmm,
myself, before I knew better, years ago, I was burning scented candles, from a very popular candle company, which is very toxic. And I thought I was all, healthy and zen burning these scented candles when in fact I was inhaling chemicals that were not helpful for my body. And I was putting scented lotion on my body that was definitely not natural and not even giving thought to the fact that our skin is our largest organ and that it just
exactly.
absorbs and goes right into our bloodstream.
Directly.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's huge. All right. So
And
FO.
we didn't hit water. We're not going to go deep into it, but water is part of natural too. It
Oh,
has its own, I give it its own specific section only because I studied the hydrotherapy. And just to define it for your viewers, like I said, we won't go deep into it, but what hydrotherapy is just really the application of water in all its forms, be it solid, a liquid, or a vapor or gas, whichever word you want to use, and even at its different, whether it's different temperatures, just the application of it to bring about healing.
and it's again another thing I believe that's far more powerful than people give credit. We all know you should be drinking water every day, 8 glasses of water, half your body weight in ounces, all of those kind of things. We've heard that a lot, but it truly can transform your body. Can you share anything a little bit about like the work? I think is it Emoto or the do you know about the guy who had the water and was talking like positively to the water and the negative messages to the water and how the water completely transformed it? Have you ever heard about him?
No,
That,
now I'm gonna have to
oh my
Google.
gosh, now you're gonna have to check it out because it really is just a good example about how powerful water is and how it can just completely transform in our bodies.
Okay, you have to give me more about that.
Yeah, so that's something that I've been very curious about, and I know even people that have like, I've got my water bottle here, have even like talked to their water, or like, it's not getting too out there right now, but like that the water is just so powerful. There's a
So
lot of
don't be afraid to go out there. You're in good company.
I know.
Even though I've got an MD behind my name, I still got a little woo in me, a lot of woo.
Of course. That's why I figured I could bring that topic up because you'd be on board. So tell us about the T after natural. So we've got fuel, optimistic, understanding, natural, and to round out fount, we have to have the T.
We have to have the tea, and tea is how you used your time, not drinking tea. But that's how you used your time. And under that, we include sleep, exercise, and relaxation. And we have time, right? We can hit on all three of them a little bit.
Sure. Keep it going, girlfriend. Keep it going. I feel like we can also come back at other times and we can chat more, on other days, because I think
well, we'll just hit on each of them a little bit though. So with exercise, I mean, the benefits of that is just, we all know them. I mean, every day you keep hearing about how important it is, and it's true. It's there. It's important. I mean, the recommendations on how much exercise is needed for health is not that much either. 150 minutes a week.
wow.
150 minutes a week. That's what you need. What that breaks down to is 5 30-minute sessions. I mean, that's doable, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, that is the bare minimal that you need to do. I mean, of course, you can go, there's that in-between area that you can go much more than that if you want to. As a matter of fact, we won't get into that either, but there is a too much exercise where you just don't really get any benefit from going overboard. But the majority of us are not there, so let's not even worry about that. Just get that 150 minutes a week
Yeah.
And the smallest interval that you should break that down into is 10-minute intervals though. And it needs to be moderate intensity exercise. Now I have a lot of patients, I always ask them, yeah, are you exercising? Yeah, I go walking. Like, okay, are you working up a sweat? Are you just strolling? It usually ends up to be a stroll. But listen, here's a good gauge that you're doing moderate intensity exercise is that it'll be difficult to sing. If you can sing, you're not pushing yourself enough. But you can manage talking. So
Right.
that's just a good gauge to know that you're in that moderate intensity range. You don't have to go checking your pulse and counting and then multiplying by however much. Just, quick gauge. Am I able to sing? If you can sing, you need to kick it up a notch. And that varies for everybody, depending on their level of fitness.
Yeah.
So that's exercise. So then we have relaxation. People don't think about relaxation, how important, or should I save that one for last? Which one, relaxation or sleep? You let me know.
Oh, let's save relaxation for last because I have some other questions about that actually.
Okay, all right. So let's do sleep then. What sleep is not optional. People use sleep as this extra time that they can borrow from to finish cleaning the house when the kids have gone to bed, to finish doing that other thing because I just got home from work and this is the only time I have and I need to borrow it from my sleep time. That is the worst thing you could possibly do for your health. Do you understand? There's death and disease in that decision. Your sleep is absolutely important. We don't understand everything that happens during sleep. It's one of those areas in health that they're really paying a lot more attention to these days. But listen, this is where your body fixes and repairs itself. It's not a worthless time. If anything, everything you do during the day leads up to this most important time of sleep is not worth compared to what you do in your sleep. This is it.
Yeah.
If you want to live a long life, if you want to be beautiful and pretty, if you want to have a good mood and be nice to people, if you want to be slim and have a body that fits your physique, you need to look into your sleep, because so many of the things that we experience is because we're compromising sleep. And as an adult, you're going to need about 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night. And it really is not just the number, it's the quality.
Right.
Yeah. And we could go in talking about what you can do for sleep all day, but just, there are books out there. Now that I've explained to you how important it is, it's your turn to do some research.
Yeah, I love that. And I 100% agree with you. And I realize, again, it's kind of like the fresh air and the sunshine that people undervalue it. And they say, I hear people all the time like, oh, I'm too busy, I'll sleep when I'm dead. Like, I want to get more out of life. And actually they're shortening their life.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting less.
And they're shortening life, and they're not experiencing life as fully as they could have.
Right. Yeah. So tell us a little bit, talk to me about relaxation. Because for a lot of people, relaxation is kicking back on their phone. And I just watched the movie Social Dilemma last night, so I'm very focused on this topic today.
So relaxation, that's not necessarily the relaxation I'm talking about, but if it takes you into that vagal state, then I guess. But here's what I mean by relaxation, and I'll back up to say how most of us live in a very stressful state. And I apologize to your people. This is where the anatomy and physiology lesson comes in. But follow me, I'm going to try to make it as simple and easy as possible. So, nervous system, we have the autonomic nervous system. That we have two nervous systems, but we'll just talk about the autonomic. And this one is the part that operates without your input.
Right.
It can mostly operate without your input. And under this nervous system, you have the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system. So the sympathetic one, that's the adrenaline. the noradrenaline. That's the fight or flight that most of us are familiar with. That's the kids, somebody has dropped your precious vase, and this is a thing that you've had since you're in 30 years ago. Actually, that just happened to me.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
20 years I have had this thing. No, not 20. Over 25 years. My son broke it the other day. It has traveled over 3 states in about 5 different houses, and he broke it. But anyway, this is not about me. But yeah, that's that nervous system that gets revved up during those times. But the problem is, we that nervous system revved up not just for when our vase breaks, because that would be a normal reaction. We get it for where's my pencil? They're breathing too deeply beside me. Just random, just stuff that we honestly don't need to get we live in a very sympathetic state. That's the input that we're getting from, you mentioned our phones, media, all those things. It puts us in a very sympathetic state,
right,
where those hormones that are good are constantly being pounding at us. It causes problems, all those things that we don't want.
right.
Inflammation, that's another word that we can use. It causes that. So then we have parasympathetic nervous system, which major hormone is acetylcholine. Yeah. And that's the one, the rest and digest, the relaxation side of the nervous system. And when we relax, we engage the parasympathetic. So if you have the sympathetic here, and just really balance things out a little bit. That's what you're doing. That's on a cellular level. That's on a biological level. What's happening? Just balancing off some of those major hormones that are just pounding at us all the time, just because of the way we live. So I said a lot. Do you have a question?
No. I mean, that's a topic that I teach on often, are the central nervous system, and we're so out of balance. And people think like, well, maybe we need, more rest and restore and less of the other. But what we really need them to be is in equilibrium. And yeah, we are operating, just because of the society we live in these days and the incredible information influx that we have coming at us. We're operating almost all the time at a real, incongruent level with these systems. And when I teach about this, one thing that always comes to my mind is when we were young and we would watch television, what we would see on the screen is just the show that we're watching. And now there's a crawl on the bottom, there's a little blurb on top of for advertising what's next, there's a thing over here in the corner. And so you're just kind of like, you don't even notice perhaps that you're having all these extra inputs, and it really wreaks havoc on our brain. And I don't think that we even know yet today how much impact from a neurological standpoint that all of these things are having on us.
It's funny you say that. I'd gone to one professional basketball game in my life. I love basketball. I mean, nothing against them. I would love to work with a pro team one day on wellness and being their wellness advisor. I went to one game and I felt like I was in the middle of a video game.
Yeah.
There's the lights running around the stage, like it was trimmed out. And they had the light chasing each other around the perimeter. And then we had the dancing girls, and then you had the announcer, and then the music, and the da-da-da. I was frazzled when I left that game. Do you understand me? I felt so overstimulated. I couldn't handle it. And so going back to what you're saying, it's the same kind of thing that's happened when people are watching television. I don't watch a lot of television, but I'm assuming that's the same kind of thing that they're feeling. And because I don't watch a lot of these really stimulating things, I think I was just hypersensitive to it then.
Yeah. And so really, things that we might think initially, like that could be part of our relaxation, like sitting down to watch television or somebody scrolling on their phone, people may describe those things as their times of relaxation, but in fact, it really is not allowing our body to relax at all.
And let's not even bring up the blue light.
Yeah, that's all another class. But I watched the movie Social Dilemma last night. Have you seen that movie yet? You did?
Week. I was just like,
so, working with teens and having that be your, your audience, your group. What is your takeaway from that, and what should we be doing to combat the effects?
So let's just put it out there. We're not going to be able to get rid of social media,
No,
and it's just learning to use it responsibly, and just really understanding. This documentary kind of put it out there. What's happening? It's like they're building what's the word called? A droid, not a droid, but a version of you.
An artificial intelligence. It's like
of you kind of trying to understand your behavior.
Right.
And what I feel to combat it is since you're understanding that, maybe even open up your view on things. Don't fall into a very narrow social media group.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of stay a step of the algorithm.
Yeah.
And that will just even make you a more interesting person anyway. If you only hang out with people that look like you, talk like you, dress like you, and that's what a lot of people are doing.
Right.
They're picking the echo chamber thing. Most people stay in the echo chamber. But if you widen your view a little bit, you'll find that the algorithm, to me, that's my theory anyway, you'll kind of stay a step ahead of the algorithms that they've set up for you.
Right.
And also just more personal relationships, make that the focus more than anything else, more real human contact. And those are the two things I would say. If you're on social media, diversify your portfolio, one, and really work on real human, one-on-one human or group human contact.
Yeah, I love that. So many good nuggets here. Fuel, optimistic, understanding, natural, and time, all things that are pillars of wellness and wisdom. I love it. We did have a couple of comments here by our friend Melissa, who first of all says we both look gorgeous, by the way. So
thanks.
Love that. They must be all the sleep we're getting, and water and sunshine. And she says she missed both sleep and exercise today.
Oh, I miss her. We walk together in the morning.
I know, right? So I love this idea. So where can people find you? And I know that you are very active on Instagram, and you share lots of insights there. So tell people where to find you, and we'll also have it in our comments.
So you could find me at Dr. Denise Beaugelin on Instagram, my rapper name. So that's dr.dnice, nice, the word being naughty and nice, but nice. And Beau, most people are familiar, the person that you love, but this is Beaugelin, but it's spelled the same way, Beaugelin, Dr.Denise Beaugelin. And I'm on Instagram every day. I put a post up in stories. I'm always giving inspirational, let's go get them for the day things. And I always do a wellness tip in the Instagram stories. And then on my feed, I'm so rigid. I post 6 times a week on my feed.
Way to go with that social media strategy. I love it.
There's a lot of wellness information there. I have a live every Saturday afternoon where I talk to a young person. Last week we talked to a freshman in high school. The week before we talked to a young man that had just graduated from college during Corona. This weekend we're going to talk to a college sophomore. So I talk to young people every Saturday. So if any one of your viewers, if they have somebody in high school or college or just graduated, 25 and under, 25 and high school.
I love it.
Like, contact me and I can get them on. We'll get them on the schedule. And let me see. So yeah, that's pretty much what I do on Instagram.
That's perfect. Well, I always like to, so go over and check her out there. Be sure to connect, follow her, and get in the loop with all of these great tips. I always like to close out with an oil, and I really couldn't originally decide today with our topic. So I'm just going to give a quick little shout out to a couple of years ago. I don't think it was maybe 2 years ago now. I'm not even sure. This awesome kids collection came out with doTERRA, and it's really not just for kids. Big kids like it too. But the beautiful thing about this little kit is that the essential oils can combine with fractionated coconut oil, and so they're very safe. So you can use it on a little kid. A kid could take this to school with them and be quite safe, just empowering themselves to apply it. Same with elderly family members, also very safe, but a lot of adults like them too. And what I love,
a little string around it that they can put on their wrist.
It's like a little carabiner that they can clip it onto their backpack. Yeah. So this one that I pulled out is called Thinker, and it's a focus blend. So if someone is having a little trouble concentrating in class or in work, or they are going to take a test or need to write a marketing proposal, a little Thinker you can use. And you look in here and you decide what you need. So the other one I just want to mention is Brave. So it's a crazy time for kids in school. It's quite an unusual time. And so if you're feeling that you need a little extra courage to make it through the day, you can grab your Brave and just apply it on your chest or wherever you might want to. So we talked earlier, tools are important, whether it's these plethora of tools that Dr. Denise has shared with us today, with water and sunshine and movement and optimism and all of these wonderful things, or it's having a little essential oil in your bag. There are plenty of tools that can support you in feeling good and being happy. Thank you so much, lovely lady. I'd love to do it again. You're such a pleasure. And shout out to Ms. White Shaheen for connecting us. Because I always say it, I say it all the time. I write introductions almost every week to introduce people to one another. I love connecting awesome women, and I love being connected with intelligent, awesome women like yourself. So thanks, Melissa, for that introduction. And I look forward to doing it again and following you on Insta, on the gram.
On the gram, on the IG.
I don't know, is that how you say it? I don't even know. I'm not cool enough to even call it the right thing. But I'm gonna be checking back with you for my rapper name.
Oh, hey, well, I'm gonna think it through. Melissa and I will work it out on our next walk and email you.
I am looking forward to seeing what that turns out to be. So thank you so much, and thanks to everyone for watching.
Oh, don't forget to send me the thing about the water too.
I will definitely. Thanks for listening, guys.
Bye, everybody.